All right, French Prime Minister Michel Barnier submitted his resignation this morning after a historic no-confidence vote was passed yesterday in Parliament. It is the first no-confidence vote for a French politician since 1962. Barnier will have served the shortest term by any prime minister in the country's history. I want to bring in BBC Europe correspondent Mark Lowen to join me now to talk more a little bit about this. So Mark, just explain to our audience here in the United States the role of the prime minister and why things went pear-shaped.
Hi there, Vlad. Well, the Prime Minister runs the government here on a day-to-day basis and is in charge of domestic affairs, while the President is more in charge of foreign affairs. So President Macron is a kind of a leader on the world stage, but the Prime Minister is hugely important. And as you say, this is an unprecedented times here in France. Not for more than 60 years has a Prime Minister been ousted by Parliament, but that is what happened to Michel Barnier. Now, I'm standing outside the presidential palace here, the Élysée Palace, and President Macron has accepted the Prime Minister's resignation, and he is going to go on national TV tonight, 8 p.m. French time, to make a statement. Now, we don't know if he will name immediately somebody who he wants to be the successor, the new Prime Minister, or whether he says he will take his time. But either way, time is of the essence because France is now in political turmoil, economic instability as well, with very high budget deficit and public debt. And of course, it is a really delicate time for Europe with wars on its borders. And where you are, Donald Trump about to take office in the White House. And so Europe needing kind of unity and stability to be able to step up to the plate and potentially act as a counterbalance to a Trump presidency.
So, you know, this is, I think, again, for a lot of people who are watching this here, they're going to wonder, Mark, why was Barnier prime minister in the first place? And I think it's oftentimes because people don't have a firm grasp of how parliamentary politics work, because we have a very different system, obviously, here in the United States. But why would Barnier be chosen as PM if he was going to face a no-confidence vote so soon after rising to that post?
That's certainly a question that people will be asking of President Macron, who appointed him 3 months ago, Vlad. What happened was that there were snap parliamentary elections that the president called last summer, this summer this year, early elections. He didn't need to call them when he did, but he wanted to catch the far right on the back foot, as he hoped. That didn't really happen. It led to a hung parliament here, which means that no grouping in the French parliament had a majority. So that is then up to the president to name a prime minister. And rather than name a candidate from the left, which was the largest bloc out of that election, it didn't get a majority, but it came out on top. President Macron said, no, a left-wing candidate would not get a majority in parliament. So he chose Michel Barnier from the centre-right. And that was a kind of, Barnier was cursed from the very beginning, because coming from the centre-right, that was always going to be prompt a furious reaction, sorry, noisy times here, on the left. And the left was never going to support Barnier. So Barnier tried to cobble together this coalition and push through a budget, an austerity budget, pension cuts and tax rises, and that didn't get the support of left and right. And so they pushed through a no-confidence motion, which toppled Michel Barnier. So now the question is, will there be any other candidate who actually could create a unity in this very fragmented, divided parliament?
Mark Lowen with an excellent primer on politics in La République Française. Mark, appreciate it as always, my friend. Thank you very much.